And President Obama saw Gravity today, not the film, his poll numbers, not good. Yeah. Latest polls show President Obama approval rating down to 39%. And Toronto Mayor Rob Ford's approval rating went up to 49%. How does this make Obama feel, huh? He's better off smoking crack than passing Obamacare. Would have been up 10 points. Would have been 10 points higher. Actually, have you noticed the president backtracking a little bit on this whole deal? Yeah. Like at a fundraiser earlier this week, President Obama said, no. What he promised was that you could keep your health care plan if it hasn't changed since the law had passed. You know, he's such a good speaker. He almost believed in himself. Yeah. And then his pants caught fire. That's when I knew. When I saw it, when the pants caught fire.
All right, there you go. Jay Leno doing it again. And this segment, of course, is known as Malzberg's Media Madness, but it couldn't be that without our guest, Noel Sheppard, associate editor of Newsbusters.org, who joins us and who wrote that story about Jay on Newsbusters.org. Hello, Noel.
Hello, Steve.
Thank you for doing this. I know you got stuff going on today, and I really appreciate it.
Hello, Steve.
Thank you for doing this. I know you got stuff going on today, and I really appreciate it.
The thing that's been interesting watching him the past 4 months since they announced that Fallon's going to be taking over in February is he'll make a joke, and if the audience doesn't like it, he'll say, I don't care. I've only got a few months left. Doesn't bother me. So I think he's having a lot of fun with this. Ratings are soaring, as I'm sure you've noticed. And I just hope, we talked about this before, I hope he ends up on Fox.
Yeah.
I hope it seems like a slam dunk. I hope he ends up on Fox.
Yeah.
I hope it seems like a slam dunk.
It's just too juvenile for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. I actually saw him in the hallway once when I was doing a hit at MSNBC. My son was with me at the time. He was very nice to him. He shook his hand, but very pleasant. But I just, it's childish humor kind of, and the audience, given the choice between, they might be forced to watch Fallon, but given the choice between Leno and Fallon, I think Fox would make out very well.
To me, Fallon's show is like watching a group of young people play beer pong.
I think you said that once before. That's cool. I like that. All right. Country Music Awards.
Yeah.
You wrote it. You covered this one. Let's hear what took place up on stage. And hear if the people. I saw this. We played this twice the other day, but I up on stage. And hear if the people. I saw this. We played this twice the other day, but I.
Why is it smoking?
I don't. Maybe we should restart it. Obamacare by morning. Why is this taking so long? So long.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna wind up with hemorrhoids if I sit here till dawn. We'll have cataracts and dementia. Oh, this is getting on my last nerve. Obamacare by morning. Over 6 people served. Oh, served.
Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, Carrie Underwood. They brought the house down.
Brought the house down, and for viewers who weren't aware, that's actually a 1973 song written by George Strait, performed by Terry Stafford, called Amarillo by Morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he might have been in the audience, and he
was in the audience. They were showing shots of him, and he was loving it. What's interesting is, and I don't remember who this was, but some liberal blogger was making fun of George Strait spelled with a G and an H.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That figures. That was bound to happen.
Figures.
Oh
yeah.
boy. All right. Let's move on to another story you covered. Yeah, you covered all the good ones this week as usual.
Wait a minute. Why does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't.
All right.
I covered all the good ones this week as usual.
Wait a minute. Why does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't.
Right.
I said, this is as vulgar as it gets, and this guy should be so ashamed of himself. I mean, if I was caught in a speech saying something like this, or making fun of if I was caught in a speech in a Q&A period after a speech that I gave, and I was making fun of the way the Obamas had sex, boy, oh boy, and that went public, I would be in really big trouble. So let's listen to what happened to Chris Matthews. He was giving a speech in Philadelphia, and this is during a Q&A. This is cut 31.
And despite their losses on Tuesday, some conservatives, including strategist Mary Matlin, of course.
No. I'm sorry. That's not the one. Hold it. Don't go away because I have it down here somewhere. 36. No, let's play it. 36. Here we go. 36. Sorry about that.
2 days after Election Day, Chris Christie has crushed his opponent. Is he going to be the...
Well, the one I feel for is his wife. Did you just say crush? I mean, use your imagination. You poor dear.
All right, so he's talking about he crushed his opponent, Christie, but I feel sorry for his wife. You talk about crush, and he's talking about Chris Christie crushing his wife while they're having sex. I mean, this is outrageous.
It is, and actually, what's interesting is this was at an event called Think Fest. Right? Think Fest in Philadelphia. He's the keynote speaker, and people paid, I think, like $15 or $18 to come and see him speak, and they're laughing at this. I mean, this is infantile. I'm not even sure this would have been funny in kindergarten. They're laughing about a guy crushing his wife. I mean, I thought wives are supposed to be off limits. Yeah. I mean, family is supposed to be off limits. This is crude and disgusting, and I'm very glad, even though Drudge didn't link to our piece on this, he did link to, I think, Breitbart's piece. And I hope that Chris Matthews is going to be forced to apologize for this. I mean, this is just, why is the color of a man's skin somehow is relevant, although it's supposed to be off limits, but weight is a totally acceptable. And what's amazing here is the guy's done something about it. He's probably lost. I mean, he hasn't given the numbers out, but you got to figure he's conceivably down 50 pounds.
At least. Absolutely. If you look at pictures before and after, you could see he's lost weight. Absolutely.
Especially, and you can see it really in his face. His face looks totally different than it did 8 months ago.
Yep.
So he's doing something about it. We should be applauding that. We should be appreciating people that are he's trying to take care of himself. He's doing the right thing. Now, you could be cynical and say he's doing this because he's going to be running for president. Okay, but he's getting healthy while he's doing it. I mean, this is a wonderful thing, but we're going to mock, and I don't know whether we're going to talk about the time cover, but what is it about liberals who feel it's completely acceptable to mock the appearance of a conservative, the weight of a conservative, and it's just I was really offended by this and rather shocked. This is the kind of thing that I expect from Bill Maher.
Right.
This is the kind of thing I would expect from Martin Bashir. This is the kind of thing I could even expect from a Lawrence O'Donnell. I don't expect this from Chris Matthews. I don't think Rachel Maddow would stoop to this level. I don't think Chris Hayes would stoop to this level. I think Bashir and certainly Ed Schultz and Lawrence O'Donnell would. This is very, very embarrassing, and I hope he's going to address it on his program.
Well, here's what I was going to, and you know what I hope? I hope if he doesn't, that when Chris Christie does Meet the Press on Sunday, if he really wants to make a mark and present that Chris Christie image, and I'm no fan of Chris Christie, I'd love to see him say, by the way, I got a bone to pick with the guy in your network, and let him blast Matthews for what he said. That would be something.
Yep. Yeah, no, I hope he does, and obviously we at Newsbusters will be.
Oh, you'll be watching. You'll be.
That'll be awfully delicious, as you know. I like.
Absolutely, front and center for a Sunday morning from.
That'll be awfully delicious, as you know. I like.
Absolutely, front and center for a Sunday morning from up. I want to put up 37, Will, if we can, for the folks watching at Newsmax TV. This is a tweet from Dylan Ratigan, who is a MSNBC, used to have an MSNBC program, and big liberal. Just had his health care insurance done away with. I bought a catastrophic health policy for $170 a month when I left MSNBC. Obamacare canceled the policy. New rate, $600 a month. Thanks, Mr. President. That's just one. Let's go to the next one. 37, Johnny Bench. I don't know his political persuasion, but Johnny Bench, the the famous catcher for the Cincinnati Reds, a Hall of Fame catcher, he put up a tweet as well, saying that his policy was canceled. Well, we got the notice like so many of you, insurance discontinued. So, but they're only part of the 5%, so they don't really count.
No, and what's interesting is I ended up having a discussion on Twitter with Dylan. He was gracious enough to interact with me about it, and he's got first of all, he is part of the left as far as I'm concerned, but this is also a very, very bright, economically astute guy. You can disagree with his political ideology, but this is not an idiot by any means. Very, very well educated, very, very bright when it comes to economic matters and whatnot. And his position on this is that he thinks that fee for service as it pertains to healthcare is just wrong, and that as a result, the whole healthcare system is designed to almost encourage people to be sick, because the doctors only get paid when they do that kind of a procedure. So there's nothing preventative. Everything is curative.
Right. And
that we should instead have people that are exclusively on salary at clinics like the Mayo Clinic or the Cleveland Clinic, and therefore they're not only getting paid when people get sick. So that's his position. But the other thing that was interesting here is he was talking about catastrophic plan, and he never answered my question. My question to him was, do you think that the policy that you purchased, the Obama administration and his media minions would call that a junk policy? Because that's the big thing out there in the media, is that everybody who's being canceled, they're being canceled because their policies are junk.
Right, subpar policies from bad apple insurers. Right.
That's right. I assure you that Dylan Ratigan was smart enough to know what he was purchasing. He was buying what's called the catastrophic plan. He's a healthy guy. He's very, very into fitness. I think he's a jogger. He exercised like crazy. Okay, so all he did was he bought a policy that if he had some significant malady, a cancer, a heart attack, something like that, he'd be covered. Everything else, when he gets a cold, he's got to go in and pay for that.
Right.
If he gets the flu or he needs a flu shot, he's got to go pay for that. None of that is covered. That's what healthy young people do, or he needs a flu shot, he's got to go pay for that. None of that is covered. That's what healthy young people care says. No, that's not enough. Even though you're a single man with no intention of getting married,
you need maternity coverage.
You need maternity coverage.
Hey, Noel, did you see the latest? And we got about a minute, less than a minute. The Gallup poll out today: 22% of uninsured Americans say they'll buy Obamacare. That's cut in half from a month ago. And most of those people, they say, are the elderly and the sick. The young aren't going to buy it. This is going to collapse like a house of cards.
It very much is. And
anyway,
I think we may have discussed last week. The next shoe to drop, and people are starting to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
The next shoe is all of the people with employer-sponsored plans who are going to be getting notices this month.
I don't want to
about
know
their benefits package for next year, and their premiums are going up, and the insurers and the companies are letting folks know it's because of ACA. And that's the next big shoe.
And the deductibles up too. Hey, Noel, thank you for making time for us today. I really appreciate it. We'll speak to you next week. The great Noel Sheppard, associate editor, Newsbusters.org. Pete Hoekstra is next on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.